Hi there, welcome to Neppy Invest. Some administration things out of the way first, just to get them out of the way. If you're a fan of my channel, you're starting to watch more and more of my videos, you think I have some good ideas, maybe it's time to become a subscriber to my channel if you're not already. It'd be really good for my ego, and everyone needs their ego driven. So it's just some advice I was given. Maybe I should be spruiking my channel a little bit more. But in the long run, this whole point of my video is to give you ideas in regards to investing. But I'll get in that in a second. Now, with debt administration things out of the way, now the whole point of this video today. So about a week ago, I discussed my investing strategies. And so I have two strategies, if you haven't watched that video, and one of those strategies is a momentum sentiment strategy. So I thought it'd be a good idea to, for disclosure purposes and full transparency, is to discuss my holdings within each portfolio, discuss why I bought them or how they're going, and then maybe give an update every week in regards to each portfolio, what I've sold, what I've bought, maybe I haven't bought or sold anything. And that's just full transparency reasons. Not only the idea that I'm trying to spruik any of the companies I hold, and probably because the main reason I'm doing this is to give you ideas. And I'm a big believer that sharing ideas, sharing different thoughts is really good. It's really powerful. It's really constructive. And I just really like that idea of sharing ideas. And this all goes back to about 20 odd years ago when I was living in America, United States at the time, in Oklahoma, when I went to the Rotten Tomato forum when they had it, and someone had set up this list of their favorite 200 songs of all time, and they were just doing like one song a day. And I went through this whole list, and just going through this list, I just got some ideas of some songs to listen to, and some of those songs that I did listen to really connected with me at the time, and they still connect with me to this day. And that gave me the idea that just spreading your thoughts, your ideas to other people, just if one of those ideas connects to just one person, you've done a good thing in life. So that's the whole point of doing these videos, is to try to connect with people, to give you ideas and to give you my thoughts and whatnot. So I hope that makes sense. The other reason I'm actually doing these videos is because for work, I actually do two videos. I go actually on camera. You might have seen me on the news channels, perhaps. Also go on radio occasionally. And the thing that dreaded me the most was going on news, going on video, and just hearing myself speak. And I just wanted to fix that. And here we are. I started this channel. Actually, I didn't start this channel initially, but I started doing YouTube videos just to become more comfortable with seeing myself on camera and listening to myself speak. And that was about 4 months ago. And during that time span, the whole point of doing these investment YouTube videos is just to give people ideas of how I work, how I think. And if you get one good idea out of this, that's all I need to be a successful channel. Anyway, my momentum sentiment portfolio. So in this portfolio, I can hold a stock between 1 day to 5+ years. Ideally, I like to hold a company for 5+ years, because in this portfolio, or this strategy, if I've held it for 5+ years, that's meant it's been in an uptrend for 5 long years, which means the value of the company is significantly higher. When I talk about 1 day as sort of a minimum, it's actually 1 hour. I held ZipPay for like 1 hour, sort of a day trade test. I decided just to do a 1 day trade. It was nerve-wracking to say the least, but even that's not going to be a common thing. Maybe it's just a one-off. But I held Treasury Wines for 3 days. I bought 1 day, and then 3 days later, their story had changed significantly in 3 days, and then I sold. But most of my buy and sell within this strategy is based off technical signals. So I look at the charts, and I go through all the charts every weekend to look at potential companies to invest within this portfolio. And then if there is a fundamental signal that goes along with the technical signal, that is even more powerful. And I've got a few examples of that within my holdings. So let's get into it. Actually, before I do that, when I did this video, I just gave you 3 examples of companies that are within my basket, and they are BlueScope, South32, and Costa Group. So those are only 3 examples I gave in my video. I've got a little bit more holdings than that. So let's get into it. Let's look at my holdings within my momentum sentiment strategy. First holding I've already talked about is BlueScope. So this is a very high confidence holding now. So when I bought it, it was literally just a sort of medium to high confidence. And I bought it at the start of August, around about $12 or so, maybe just above $12. And it was based off just a positive technical signal I got. It broke through a bit of resistance on a higher volume. And during the next few months, the share price has just gone up very slowly. But over the last few months, in fact, on the 23rd of October and the 19th of November, the company has put out 2 profit upgrades. So we've had the positive technical signal. Now we've got a positive financial signal. So financial sentiment's increased too, and the share price is starting to increase a little bit at a higher rate. So at the moment, this is up almost 50% since when I've bought it. So pretty good for a company like BlueScope, which is a high capped, almost a blue blood high cap company. My dog is being a nuisance. So the fact that I've made 50% in about 3.5 months or 3 months or so is quite good. And that's all based off a technical signal. So you can see the 2 profit upgrades. The first one was a 30% lift in first half underlying EBIT to 340 million. And then they've increased that to 475 million. So everything's looking positive for BlueScope moving forward. No reason to sell this anytime forward. And that's the whole point of this strategy, is not to sell too quickly. I had this problem a few years ago with Fortescue Metals when I bought them based off a technical signal. I did have a sell strategy. My sell strategy was to sell out when I've made a certain amount of profit, and I didn't really have a sort of a strategy to. My dogs are playing now. You can hear them in the background. Anyway. So with Fortescue Metal, my sell strategy was when it got to a certain percentage increase, I would sell out. And then even though it was still in an uptrend, if I just kept on holding, I would have made significantly more money than I did in the long run. So I think I sold out of 100% profit, but I think I bought it something like $3, and then it went up to $18. So I could have sold out at 600% profit instead of 100. And Fortescue was the reason I developed some rules around when to sell out. And I don't sell out just based off the amount of profit I've made. It's always based off if the sentiment has shifted and has gone negative, that's when I sell out. Or if the story's changed. But with BlueScope, we've had all positive signals, technical signals, fundamental signals are now positive, and we've had 2 of those. So a very high confidence ownership with this company at the moment. So next company is South32. So this is a low confidence. This was, so I try to judge, when I bought a company, I just don't ignore it. I then judge whether I've bought the company too soon, too late. I not only do that with companies I've held, I've also do that with companies I'm thinking of buying and I don't buy. I judge whether that was a good decision or not. So this company has been trading in the price, sort of a trading range between about $2.02 and $2.32. And right now it's the top of the range. I bought this at the bottom of the range or something a few months ago, and I thought I'd just be smart, but I've just held on to them because I think, especially within the commodity markets, there is some positive signals moving forward for the next few years at least. And they actually mentioned this in their quarterly report on the 19th of October when they've said they delivered a $70 million increase in net cash. And they just mentioned as commodity markets improve. So we're already seeing that happen. And over the past about 2 weeks or so, we've started to see a possible start of an uptrend. So this would have been a sort of a company I might be thinking of buying if I hadn't already bought them at around $2.30. And if it breaks through this top of this trading range around $2.32, that would be quite positive. It wouldn't surprise me to see this drop back again over the next few weeks, back to around $2.02 and stay within that trading range. But at the moment, if it breaks through that, that'd be very positive. So this is a company I probably bought a little bit too early. I should have waited for confirmation of an uptrend, which could be happening right now. So potential breakout happening right now. So this is something I might actually take another position within if it does break out above $2.32. So next company is Costa Group. This is a company that had a dual positive technical signal plus a positive fundamental signal. So high confidence, heading towards very high confidence with this company. So I bought on positive financial sentiment, and that turned into positive technical sentiment almost on the day that it happened with the positive financial. So this is the positive financial. It was the half-yearly report they did on the 28th of August, and they just mentioned how everything was improving within the business. So if you've been following Costa Group for a while, you would have known they had, especially I think it was in 2019, they had a slew of really bad announcements, profit downgrades, about 3 or 4 of them during that year. Droughts were affecting them, bad things happening to the vegetables like blights. Is it blights or little critters, insects, maybe, that sort of thing, mold, I don't know. Anyway, they've just mentioned that everything's turning upwards, and they just said right at the end of one of their comments, supports our view of positive financial outcomes in the second half of this calendar year. So everything's looking up, and even the share price is starting to trend upwards. You can see it going through waves up and down, and that's really good. So everything's looking good for Costa Group moving forward. And again, no reason to set out of this company. Just going to hold this for as long as they want me to. And this has the potential to go to like $8, $10 or so, because it did get to a high of something like $8 or $9 a few years ago. So has the potential to get that back to that price over the next few years. They're also an international company. They have operations in Morocco, China. So they're sort of spreading their wings throughout the whole world. The next company is Red River. This is a low confidence. This is just a purely technical sentiment. You can just see it changing around about late June, July, at around about 10 cents or so. So very positive. And I bought just right on this quarterly cash flow on the 27th of October. You can see on the top right there, this is the quarterly cash flow. So cash flow from operating was 35.9 million, and net cash from operating activities positive 12.5. So market cap of just above 100 million. So looking pretty good based off that. But whether they can maintain that sort of financial windfall over the next few quarters is my biggest question with this company. I am doing a video on Red River soonish. I'm just sort of already developing that video right now, and I'll just discuss that video. And in that video, you'll see I've gone back 2 or 3 years of looking at their quarterly cash flow, and you can see they're very lumpy at times. So anyway, low confidence, mostly based off a technical uptrend, but the positive quarterly has helped out, and at the moment I'm up something like 20 or 30% on this company. The next company is a company called Empire Energy. So they're into the gas, and they're in the shale in Northern Territory, which has potential to be a massive area for gas and shale. So this was based mostly off a momentum sentiment trade, but this company might transition into my long-term growth portfolio, because the more I research to where they're located, the more intrigued I am becoming of this company. So initially this was just based off the trend was moving up. You just see the share price starting to go up. This is this last 6 months. And very slow uptrend, which I really like. I like that sort of slow uptrend, less volatility. We're starting to see increasing volume, which is always good too. So Empire Energy, their code is EEG, but this company might transition into my long-term growth portfolio simply because they're not in production yet, but they might, if they do end up in production in a few years' time, this could be one of those companies that could be significantly higher valued moving forward. But still a lot of risk with this company, but that's why it might enter my long-term growth portfolio. So the last company is a company I bought a few days ago. So this is Michael Hill Jewelers. So initially just a medium confidence. It'll become more of a high confidence if I start to see the uptrend being maintained. So this was a company I bought because of positive financial news. I've been following them for a long time, and the positive financial news was a positive Q1 trading update on around about I think it was the 14th of October or something like that. I just got it marked there. You can see a good uptrend in share prices following that, and then the share price has just leveled off, so it consolidated in a price between 50 and 55 cents, which is actually quite good. The only thing I didn't like about this chart was the lack of volume on the positive trading update. It wasn't as high as I would have liked, which showed you the market wasn't excited as it could have been. But the main thing I'd like to see here now is just a maintaining of an uptrend moving forward. So this is one company, and when I looked at the trading update, they do have operations in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, and most of it was doing well. Same-store sales increased 7%, and they were looking pretty good for this last quarter. So a medium confidence. I didn't put a lot of money into this one. I was also looking at Mosaic Brands, much higher risk of that company at the same time I bought this. That has more significant upside, but again, if you look at my video on Mosaic versus City Chic, you know that there is some quite significant risks to do with Mosaic Brands. So anyway, those are my holdings within portfolio. I look to add within this within each week or not. So I'll give another update next week if I've made some holdings, buys or sales, whatever. I can't speak all of a sudden. But anyway, so if you have any questions about my portfolio, any holdings, leave a comments. Otherwise, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. So even though I've been talking about what I hold within this portfolio, it doesn't mean you have to hold the same thing as me. Find your own sort of light and go with that light. Find your own companies to buy. If you like some of these ideas I've given you, that's good. That's fine. But make sure you just don't buy because I've given you some ideas. Make sure you do the research. It says it fits in any company that any idea I've given you. Make sure that company fits in within your own sort of trading strategy. And as you move forward, maybe we can be trading buddies. Who knows? Anyway, that's all for today. Have a good day and talk to you later. Bye.